Hey, data lovers, it's Jeff here from IDEC with another I Love Data Fridays short. And ladies and gentlemen, the website is open for the 2020-21 school year. And we thought this might be a good time to just do another review of the data collection changes for this school year. So in this I Love Data Friday short, this will include all of the changes that were announced back on August the 1st and includes all of the little clarifications we provided in August and September. So this is a comprehensive review, including all the information given out at the beginning of August, plus all of the little updates in between then and now. So here we go. Okay, first things first, no schools will be collecting tested and not instructed data this year. So you will see this reflected, teacher leaders, on when you click that View Schools List button on the student data page. You will see that all your schools will fall under, there will be no tested, not instructed schools. This means that all of our schools will try to collect random sample data this year. So you're probably noticing the word try. So we are saying that we're going to try to collect random sample data with the following understanding, that there will certainly be difficulties in selecting and assessing these students in a remote or hybrid scenario. So please have your teachers try. But if it's going to be too difficult to select and test, contact your trainer and ask for an exemption. We are postponing the hearing and recording sounds and words pilot for 1 year, so continue to use the current hearing and recording sounds and words, follow your usual selection procedures, and use the current stay nines. We will not be collecting any Slosson oral reading data test this year. So no Slosson, one less assessment that you have to give this year. We will also not be collecting any other year-end data questions. So if you see the little red square on the screen, the other year-end data page is that data page that is at the right-hand side of the data entry screen, and this is where teachers enter information about special ed, retention, supplemental education, and other year-end data information. Our new end of intervention status categories go into effect this year. So our discontinued status now is referred to as accelerated progress, as you can see in the green on the screen there. We have a new category, which is called progressed. And then, of course, we have the usual categories of recommended, none of above, incomplete, and moved. So these are in effect, and you will find these on the website. Text levels 26 and above will be using 95% accuracy this year. So, like I said, for text levels 26 and above, teachers should use a 95% accuracy rate as a passing score instead of the 90% accuracy rate. All other text levels remain at the 90% accuracy rate. This is just for text levels 26 and above. And this was a change recommended and approved by the Reading Recovery North American Trainers Group. All right, we have a new question on the website that will appear on our fall, entry, exit, mid-year, and year-end data pages. And the question is, how was the OS administered? And as I'm saying, it's asked each time the OS is administered, and teachers will have three choices: that the OS was either administered in person, it was either administered remotely, or it was administered in a hybrid manner. So, for example, you had to administer it in person one day and you got through 4 tasks, and then you finished up 2 tasks the next day remotely, in a remote fashion in some way. So that is the hybrid manner. So 3 choices there: in person, remotely, and administered in a hybrid manner. So we modified on the exit page, reading recovery exit page, and actually literacy lessons as well. We modified the question that asks about the number of lessons that students are receiving. So In previous years, this was one question. It simply asked how many lessons did the student receive. This year, we are asking 3 different questions. So if you look down at the boxes, at the red box at the bottom of the screen, you will see the question, how many lessons did the student receive following the standard model? Next one, how many lessons did the student receive following a modified delivery model? And then the final question, how many lessons did the student receive following a remote delivery model? So those are the 3 questions about the number of lessons children received. Now, we've certainly gotten a lot of questions about how to determine the difference between these delivery models. So here's a little flow chart that you can follow, a standard, modified versus remote lessons. First, was the teacher in the same room as the student? If the answer is no, then this is a remote lesson. So that lesson should be recorded as remote. If the answer is yes, the next question we can ask ourselves, was the lesson modified for safety reasons? If the answer is no, then this is a standard lesson. If the answer is yes, then this is a modified lesson. So in this case, modified is not asking about how you changed a lesson based off of what a child needed. It's just wondering, like, how was the lesson modified for safety reasons? It is the safety component that is determining whether it's a modified lesson or not. Now, some safety reasons could be wearing a mask or even a face shield or both, being 6 feet apart, being separated by a partition, or other modifications. There will be certainly many things that I have not listed on this list here. Use your best judgment. IDEC trusts you. If there was a modification made for safety reasons, then you can consider that a modified lesson. All right, we've got some new questions for our building data. The first one is, how many first grade classroom teachers are in their first year of their professional career? The next one is, what are the core literacy curricula being used in grades K through 3? And then our final new question is, besides reading recovery and DLL, what other Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions are being used in this school? So you will see, here's a screenshot of those questions. You will see those 3 questions right together. Question 20 on there is just how many first grade classroom teachers are in their first year of their professional career. The next 3 drop-down boxes show a chance where you can select up to 3 curricula being used in a school. You're only required to input 1. There is a none option if there truly is no curriculum being used. Question 24, which is about the Tier 2, Tier 3 interventions. You can list up to 3 interventions. Only 1 is required. If there are no other interventions besides reading recovery or DLL, there is an option in intervention 1 to select none. Now, we've been asked some questions about that question about how many first grade classroom teachers are in their first year of their professional career. How do we define this? So here we go, just some quick examples to help define that. If a teacher has been teaching 4th grade and has been assigned to 1st grade, they are not counted because they are not in their first year of professional teaching. So here's another example. Teacher has never taught before, and this is their first year teaching. They are counted because they are in their first year of teaching. So hopefully those 2 little guidelines will give you a good idea of who to count for this question. All right, we've also had, this isn't a new question, but we've been asked to help clarify the question, how many first grade students enrolled at this school are instructed primarily in English regular education classrooms? Because many schools are doing many different things this year between remote and modified and in-person classes. So this is the total enrollment of first graders at the school. So this includes students attending school in person, attending online, or attending classes in some other format. It's everybody. Try to get a count of everybody, the total enrollment. All right, teacher data, specifically the questions about other students served. We reduced this from 14 questions, which asks you about the number of students served by grade to one single question. So here's what it used to look like, where you would enter the number of students by grade to answer the question. And this is what it looks like now. Question number 8 just asks, how many students do you serve in your other role? So as since August and September, we've gotten a lot of questions about sort of other issues because you didn't have access to the student and how that should be handled. So one of the things that came up is like, sometimes we're not able to administer the concepts about print at all. So if you can't administer the concepts about print, just leave it blank on the website. Don't enter 0. Leave it blank. The team has gone through and made sure that we can leave the concepts about print field blank if we need to leave it blank. If a teacher did not have access to a child for testing due to a remote scenario reason, when the question comes up, when the question comes up on the screen, was the OS administered to this child? You can select the option that says no. This child was at school but unavailable for fall administration. I know it doesn't quite exactly fit the scenario, but that's okay. What's more important is just recording that no, they didn't get the OS administered. Missed lessons. So we certainly have had a lot of questions about missed lessons. So let me start about missed lessons from the student side of things, all right? And let's talk about absent versus unavailable. So remember, there's 4 questions in total about missed lessons, 2 about the teachers and 2 about students. Our student questions ask how many lessons missed because the student was absent, and how many lessons were missed because the student was unavailable. So how does this work in this new, where you have remote scenarios? So let's do a little flow chart. So was the student officially recorded as being absent by the school? If that is yes, then you'll record a missed lesson you'll count that as a missed lesson because the student was absent, all right? Because they were officially recorded as being absent by the school. If the student wasn't officially absent, then you will record this as a lesson missed because the student was unavailable, all right? So let's say the student got up late, or mother and father went out shopping, took their child with them, but didn't make it back in time in lessons. Student was unavailable if they weren't recorded as being officially absent from school. Oh yes, here's reasons. Forgot about the lesson, technology problems, slept through the lesson, and of course I've sort of a million other reasons that I can't even think of right now. So once again, IDEC says just use your best judgment. We trust you in this scenario. Just follow these general guidelines. All right, missed lessons because the teacher absent versus unavailable. So was the teacher officially absent from school? If yes, then that will get recorded as a missed lesson because the teacher was absent. If no, then this will be recorded as a lesson missed because the teacher was unavailable. Some unavailable reasons, the teacher could be doing mandated testing. With all of our new COVID protocols in schools, a lot of teachers are being pulled away for other duties. So these other duties may be interfering. We're also including in this scenario schools that did not provide adequate resources. So if a school promised to provide a piece of equipment or provided a piece of equipment and either the equipment didn't work, say like a Chromebook or an iPad, or the school hasn't given it to the student yet, record this as a lesson missed because the teacher was unavailable. We're just following along the thought line that that if the school promised to provide some sort of access and they didn't come through, then teachers can't give the lesson because the teacher's unavailable because the technology wasn't provided. There's probably a million other reasons why teachers might be unavailable. Once again, please just use your best judgment. IDEC trusts you. All right, missed lessons. So let me just sum it up like this. So I know I've given you some guidelines and some brief examples, but please, in general, don't agonize too much over like which category should I put it in. I don't want you all to be spending all sorts of time trying to figure out what category to put it in. If you can't, if you're unsure, just pick the category and make sure that missed lesson gets recorded. Because what's really important is the total number of missed lessons. That is what is important to IDEC. So if you can give us that total number of missed lessons, put those missed lessons in somewhere, then you're done good. All right? Excellent. Great job. That's it's what's really important, the total number of missed lessons. Whew! All right, folks, that concludes this I Love Data Friday short and our comprehensive review of the changes to this year, plus all our little clarifications for the 2021 school year. I'm excited to get started with full episodes of I Love Data Fridays coming this month, so watch your emails for upcoming full episodes. We're planning out our some new How Do You Do Datas, and then we're going to do a new series of I Love Data Friday episodes that are called What Do the Data Say? Where we take a sort of really a research look at some questions and tell us what the data have to say about that. All right, so I'm excited to get that going. All right, folks, well, that includes this I Love Data Friday short, and as we always say, hey, we'll talk data to you later.